the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine Army intensifies rescue and relief operations to affected families. 104 new soldiers complete infantry orientation training under Aguila Division. BBM approves release of 1.684 billion peso quick response funds to DA, DSWD, and PCG. DOH ensures health response for more than 9,000 families in Central Luzon.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Tuesday, November 11, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browder Jr. led key AFP staff officers in an interagency situation briefing with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. via video teleconference yesterday to discuss the coordinated national response to UWAN. The meeting, also attended by Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. and representatives from major government agencies, reviewed updates on troops deployment, relief coordination, and disaster response operations. General Browner reaffirmed the AFP's full commitment to execute timely and well-coordinated humanitarian assistance and disaster response missions. The AFP continues to monitor UWAN closely and reminds the public to follow official advisories and safety protocols.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Philippine Army troops have intensified rescue, relief, and clearing operations across Luzon following the devastation of UWAN yesterday. With ongoing military drills suspended, they redirected all available manpower and resources towards saving lives and assisted over 35,000 families in evacuation shelters nationwide. Task Force Sagip, together with reservists and partner agencies, led flood rescue and relief missions in Bicol and northern Luzon, clearing blocked roads and delivering aid to affected areas. The Army reaffirmed its commitment to stand by the Filipino people through sustained post-typhoon relief and recovery efforts.
Armed Forces Radio.
For a closer look about Philippine Air Force rescuers evacuate residents from landslide-prone areas in Baguio City, let us hear to our reporter in the field, MJ. Go ahead, MJ.
The Tactical Operations Wing Northern Luzon, through Tactical Operations Group 1, conducted preemptive evacuation operations in Barangay Luwakan proper, Baguio City, amid the threat of landslides yesterday. Working closely with Barangay Luwakan officials, the team carried out two separate evacuations in Purok Punggian and Purok Magsaysay. A joint team of Tugwan personnel and barangay responders safely evacuated 4 residents, including a child, and transported them to the Luwakan proper barangay hall using a KM450 vehicle. All evacuees are now safe and accounted for. This is MJ reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, MJ.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Air Force, through the Tactical Operations Wing Northern Luzon, deployed its Disaster Response Task Unit yesterday to assist flood-stricken residents in Dagupan City. The team conducted rescue operations for stranded individuals and families affected by rising waters. The mission, coordinated with the Dagupan City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council and Tactical Operations Group 3, ensured a swift and organized response to the flooding. This joint effort highlights the Air Force's steadfast commitment to humanitarian assistance and disaster response in coordination with local authorities.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 36th Infantry Battalion and Technical Education and Skills Development Authority in Surigao del Sur marked a milestone with the successful completion of a 15-day driving NC2 training for 21 friends rescued. The program provided former rebels with essential driving skills to help them rebuild their lives and contribute to peace and community development. Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Joselito Ante Jr. commended the participants and encouraged them to continue pursuing their dreams and live as productive members of society. This initiative demonstrates the government's ongoing commitment to peace, reintegration, and livelihood empowerment for former rebels through skills training and capacity building programs.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Mike about 6 FAB leaders join Key Leaders Enhancement Program.
Platoon leaders and the Sergeant Major of the 6th Field Artillery Battalion participated in the Philippine Army Skill Leaders Enhancement Program held at Headquarters 6th Infantry Division. The training aimed to enhance leadership and mentorship skills vital for effective command and troop management. By engaging in leadership development initiative like KLEP, 6FAB strengthens its operational capability and commitment to excellence within the Philippine Army. The activity emphasized the Army's ongoing efforts to develop competent, adaptable, and professional leaders across all units. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1FP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Aguila Division formally concluded the Infantry Orientation Training Class 02-2025 at the 10th Division Training School in Mawab, Davao de Oro, led by Colonel Roberto Bunaga, the Division Inspector General. A total of 104 new soldiers completed nearly 2 months of intensive training focused on combat readiness, field operations, and territorial defense. Colonel Bunagan commended the trainees for their perseverance and emphasized that the program was designed to strengthen character, discipline, and operational competence. The graduates, known as the Infant Mansilak class, will be deployed to various units under the Talent ID to support sustainment operations in insurgency-free areas.
DWDD National News.
And now for our national news, the Department of Budget and Management has approved the release of 1.684 billion pesos of Quick Response Funds, or QRF, of the Department of Agriculture, Department of Social Welfare and Development, and the Philippine Coast Guard to expedite recovery and rehabilitation efforts. According to the DBM, 1 billion will be released to the DA for recovery and rehabilitation programs in regions affected by the African swine fever and recent tropical cyclones. It will also be a standby resource for agricultural recovery efforts in anticipation of future disasters, including Typhoon Uwan. Around 631 million was also released to the DSWD to replenish its QRF to finance the procurement of family food packs and non-food items and the stockpiling of relief goods. The DBM said it also issued over 53 million pesos to the PCG for its relief, rehabilitation, and search and rescue operations.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from Papsimo, let us hear from Apple about 505th SRG Philippine Air Force conducts SAR operations in Balamban, Cebu.
The Philippine Air Force 505th Search and Rescue Group, in coordination with the Tactical Operations Wing Central, conducts search and rescue operations for missing individuals across 5 barangays in Balamban, Cebu, following reports of residents unaccounted for after the heavy rains and flooding brought by Typhoon Tino. The operations remains ongoing as rescue teams continue to scour affected areas, working tirelessly with local communities to locate the missing and provide assistance to impacted communities. This is Apple Burabo reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Apple.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directed concerned government agencies to ensure necessary assistance for the victims of Typhoon Uwan. Presidential Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro said the President tasked Department of Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rex Gatchalian to guarantee that aid reaches all those affected by Typhoon Uwan. PBBM emphasized immediate rehabilitation efforts for roads damaged by the storm so that relief operations would not be hampered. Meanwhile, the chief executive also tasked government officers to continue monitoring the weather situation until today, November 11.
DWDD. National News.
The Department of Health has sustained its round-the-clock medical response for 9,500 families currently taking shelter in evacuation centers across Central Luzon. DOH Secretary Ted Ferbosa has mobilized teams to closely monitor the health and welfare of evacuees. To meet their medical needs, the DOH distributed 6.7 million pesos worth of medicines and health supplies even before Uwan made landfall in Aurora last Sunday night. So far, more than 35,700 have received medicines for dizziness, stomach pain and cough, along with first aid kits and free medical consultations. Doctors are also on standby to prescribe and distribute antibiotics.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let's hear some information from Joanne about NOLCOM units ramped up for clearing and other operations after Typhoon Uwan.
The Philippine Army's Engineering Brigade has arrived at Barangay Gupa, Dipakulaw, Aurora to help repair the damaged Baler-Kasiguran Road. The towns of Dinalungan, Kasiguran, Dilasag, and 7 coastal barangays of Dipakulaw have been isolated due to the damaged road. The 91st Infantry Battalion also worked with other responders to remove debris, clear block roads, and restore access routes, ensuring safe movement of residents, responders, and relief convoys to areas impacted by the typhoon in Aurora. In the area of Region 2, the 95th Infantry Selakni Battalion, together with personnel from the 502nd Infantry Brigade, conducted humanitarian assistance and road clearing operations in Isabela Province. Using military vehicles, they facilitated the safe return of evacuees to their homes and cleared roads blocked by fallen trees. The 86th Infantry Highlander Battalion also provided manpower assistance for road clearing operations in Quirino and Nueva Vizcaya provinces. In Abulug, Cagayan, the Marine Battalion Landing Team 10 distributed hot meals to evacuees taking shelter at the municipal gymnasium. The 103rd Infantry Mabalasik Battalion deployed personnel to assist affected residents in Kalinga Province through rescue operations, relief goods distribution, and road clearing activities. NOLCOM remains committed to assisting local government units in restoring mobility, ensuring public safety, and supporting recovery efforts in its joint operational area. This is John Sagok reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD. National News.
For other national news, the Department of Transportation and the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines have announced the reopening of land and air transport hubs as Typhoon Uwan further weakened over the West Philippine Sea. The DOTR said all travel suspensions were lifted, but emphasized that the safety of passengers, drivers, conductors, and public utility vehicles must remain paramount. All transport service entities are also advised to take precautionary measures as they resume provincial and city operations. Meanwhile, DOTR Acting Secretary Giovanni Lopez visited the bus terminals in Ligarda, Manila, and assessed the situation of the stranded passengers at the bus terminals of the Florida Bus Company and Victory Liner.
DWDD. National
The
News.
Department of Public Works and Highways should build appropriate flood control projects in the 3rd District of Albay, which has been devastated by Typhoon Uwan. Representative Adrian Salceda said that because of the national ban on flood control projects, many structures that were damaged by Typhoon Christine that hit the country last year remain unrepaired. Salceda added that during Typhoon Uwan, they conducted temporary sandbagging operations that delayed the entry of floodwaters long enough for their evacuation efforts to be completed. but eventually the sandbags gave way. The lawmaker then appealed to the Department of Public Works and Highways to prioritize appropriate, scientific, and evidence-based flood control projects for the district.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Jimboy, updates about 2nd CMO Battalion LGU distribute relief aid to typhoon-affected residents in Cabuyao City.
The 2nd Civil Military Operation Battalion, in coordination with the Cabuyao City LGU and City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, conducted the monitoring and distribution of relief goods at Butong Elementary School, Barangay Butong. The operation aimed to assist evacuees and residents affected by Tropical Depression Uwan. Army personnel provided manpower and logistics support, working closely with partner agencies to streamline relief effort. The initiative emphasized the Philippine Army commitment in serving communities and supporting local disaster response operation. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the Department of Transportation has ordered an immediate assessment of a Philippine National Railways bridge in Albay damaged by Typhoon Uwang. According to the DOTR, the bridge connecting San Rafael and Maipo in Ginabatan, Albay sustained structural damage during the typhoon's onslaught last November 9. Acting Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez said the PNR engineers are on standby and ready to carry out the inspection once weather and safety conditions permit. As a result of the damage, PNR operations for the Naga-Legazpi route have been temporarily suspended.
DWDD National News.
And more gates were opened in 5 major dams in Luzon that have been releasing water. These include the Angat, Ipo, Ambuklao, Binga, and Magat Dam. Pag-asa said that Angat Dam has 3 gates with a 3-meter opening, releasing 450 cubic meters per second. The Ambuklao Dam has 8 gates with 8-meter opening, releasing 1,018.65 cubic meters per second. Meanwhile, the Binga Dam has 6 gates with a 9.5-meter opening, releasing 1,119.42 cubic meters per second.
Armed Forces Radio.
And we are joined now by our field reporter Shaina, who has been following the situation closely about 59 IB troops sustain relief and clearing operations in Batangas. Go ahead, Shaina.
Yes, Rofh, soldiers from the 59th Infantry Protector Battalion continued their humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations across Batangas yesterday, following the onslaught of Super Typhoon Uwan. In Balayan, troops worked with local officials and municipal health office to distribute hot meals to evacuees at Barangay Sampaga Elementary School. Simultaneously, Army personnel conducted clearing operations in Agoncillo and Talisay, removing debris and fallen trees in coordination with the Philippine Coast Guard and Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. These efforts ensured uninterrupted access for reliefs and emergency response teams. This is Shaina Raneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, though, no crime incidents have so far been reported in the regions affected by Typhoon Uwan. Philippine National Police Directorate for Police Community Relations Deputy Chief Brigadier General Vina Guzman said they have not received any reports of any looting or criminal incident in the affected regions. Guzman said special police desks were established in evacuation centers to discourage human traffickers and other criminal elements from taking advantage of the situation. She also emphasized that in times like these, there are people who will take advantage of the situation, so the role of women and children's desk is important not only to secure women and children, but also to ensure that nobody will take advantage of the vulnerable evacuees.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine National Police urged the netizens and content creators to be responsible in posting photos and videos on social media in relation to the effects of Typhoon Uwan. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. made the appeal after the reposting of a photo of an elderly couple purportedly waiting to be rescued on social media. The photo was claimed to be a result of the widespread flooding caused by Typhoon Tino, but it turned out that the photo was taken in Mexico. Nartates emphasized that spreading fake information, whether deliberately or not, can be misleading and in some cases could incite unnecessary fear and panic among communities. He encouraged netizens to share verified information instead.
Armed Forces Radio.
And some information from Spencer about aided IB troops assist in patient transfer amid Super Typhoon Uwan in Rizal.
U.S. Rofh soldiers of the 18th Infantry Battalion assisted in transferring patients to the Morong Provincial Hospital in Rizal. The operation aimed to ensure the safety and welfare of patients as strong winds and heavy rains battered the province. Troops worked closely with local disaster response teams and hospital personnel to complete the transfer swiftly and safely. The Philippine Army reaffirmed its commitment to protect lives and provide humanitarian assistance in times of calamity. This is Spencer, reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
The Sundalo-Bayan has denied the bid of formerly official Mohit Dargani to travel to Spain, Germany, and Thailand. This is due to lack of merit amid a pending graft charge against him. In a resolution, Sundalo-Bayan said Dargani's planned trips abroad makes him a flight risk because aside from being a Filipino citizen, Dargani also has a Spanish citizenship, which means he can easily travel across many countries without the impediment of seeking a visa. Dargani is facing graft charge over the alleged overpriced 4.4 billion pesos purchase of medical supplies from formerly by the Department of Health during the pandemic.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.